In Unit 9b1, I'll show you a bunch of different kinds of lights that a video professional might use and talk basically about what each one is for in a video production context. This first light is called a scoop. It's a scoop because it's got this big scooped shape right here. This is a very basic light used for a variety of things. You might even see one in a shop for a shop light. But a scoop light produces pretty round, fairly soft light that's broadcast over a wide area. It's useful for just basic kinds of lighting. And this particular scoop is mounted in what's called a light grid. This light grid is a panel of poles, metal poles, usually in the ceiling of a studio, and lights are suspended from these poles. I want to point out that lights suspended from poles can be very dangerous because they can fall, and over the course of film history there have been deaths caused by falling lights on studio sets. So we have learned that we need to double connect our lights to the pole to be extra safe, to take extra precaution. One connection here is this clamp, and that clamp is physically connecting the light to the pole. But then the second layer of protection is that loop, that metal pole, that metal loop that's going through and around the light. So if one of these two kinds of protection fails, the other one will catch the light before it falls on someone, doing any serious damage. Anytime you're mounting lights to the ceiling, it's critically important that you double secure them for safety. This light is a Fresnel light. It's spelled F-R-E-S-N-E-L, but the S is silent, Fresnel. And a Fresnel light, the light itself is inside of a cone of metal like this. And then in front of that cone is a glass lens, and that lens has got waves in it. And that can help focus the beams. What you can do with a Fresnel light is you can move this mirror right here further away from the light source. The light would be mounted right here, further away from the light source or closer to the light source. And because of the way that the glass lens is designed, the light either goes wide and creates a floodlight or becomes narrow and creates a spotlight. Spot, flood. So a Fresnel can be adjusted as either a spotlight or a floodlight. As fluorescent light quality has gotten better, we're seeing more and more of them in studio settings. This fluorescent light uses a bulb that can reproduce a tungsten quality light or can simulate other kinds of light. Fluorescent lights are particularly useful because they use less electricity, saving the environment, and they also are not hot to the touch. They're not as dangerous as a lot of traditional lights are because you can put your fingers on them and won't get burned. The most recent developments in light technology are coming from LED lights. LED lights are particularly cool. They use almost no power at all compared to traditional lights, and they can be controlled much more specifically and precisely by a computer. In fact, high-end LED lights can have their colors changed digitally by a computer. Most studio lights are suspended from a ceiling from a light grid, but studio lights can also be placed on a tripod to be moved around and placed at whatever position on the floor is most convenient. If a small and less powerful light is okay for you, some lights can also be mounted directly onto the shoe of a camera, so you don't need to have an extra light in a situation. Lights can pull their electricity from a hot shoe, and that's for a very small kind of a camera-mounted light. But some LED lights now can be mounted on a regular shoe, have their own battery power, and can be quite bright in their own way. And here is another common way you'll see lights in a professional video world. This is a portable light kit. As you can see, there's a bag here, and all the lights fold up into this bag, which has got a strap for carrying over your shoulder. You'll see people sometimes at airports or getting out of vans carrying these kinds of light kits. This particular one has got 3 lights in it. These are 3 Toda lights, and here's the power cords for those lights. There are 3 small tripods that'll hold those lights up, and down here are the reflectors for the lights, and you can even take with you a gel kit and a gel frame in order to set up your lights in the field, plug them in, use them, and then take them back down and put them all back away in the kit for you. Very convenient to be carrying around in the field. I'd like to point out that these Toda lights for my field light kit are extremely hot when they're on. Right now in this picture you see a finger touching them because that light is cold. It's been off for a long time, and so it's safe to touch the screen. Notice I'm also touching the screen around the light. That's the protective metal screen to protect you from that hot light. I'm not touching the bulb itself. Never touch a bulb with your bare fingers. The oil from your fingers will get on the bulb, and that could cause it to explode later on when it gets hot. very bad, don't do it. So don't touch the lights at all. If you're going to change the bulb, you have to wear gloves, and keep in mind, once these things have been on for more than about 30 seconds, they can be incredibly hot and give you a very serious burn. Be really careful when working with field lights.